I went back to my old high school when I was in university for an opening of a new theater complex. I ended up like spending time with a couple other students and like older teachers. It was just kind of like this realization that like, of course I knew this, but that like, teachers aren't robots that just, work from, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday sort of thing. And so the idea kind of grew from there.
But it wasn't until like later on in the outline that the whole bird watching came in. And I happened to be, a friend of mine, Matt Baker, was really into birding. And I had gone to join him a dozen times or so, take some photography or whatever. And that's kind of when I brought up with Ted, like, hey, what if he's an ornithologist?
Birding is something that I think it's a very interesting world. It's a bit of a subculture, and it kind of, when you kind of look into any subculture, they have these like quirks. They'll be like talking to like someone, be like, hey, how's it going? And they hear something, they'll be like off, and they're gone, and they're like watching the bird, and then like the other person standing there like, weren't we just talking here? And that kind of lent itself to our story as well. For like the Ron character, I was kind of focused on one thing, but he's missing kind of the bigger picture.
I'm Roy Colavino. I'm the executive producer and producer on the film The Birder. The film itself was about 7 years in the process, and it came to me at literally almost the 11th hour, and it was something that I saw merit. I thought it was worthwhile. I thought it was a good script. And I just thought, I didn't want to let this thing pass. I just thought it was worthwhile to make it happen. So I pulled up the stops and did what I could to make it happen. And luckily, we were able to get it all done.
As a writer, I'm just so excited to, I've been with this project for 5 years, and to actually see the actors we have bringing these characters to life, and seeing Tom being Ron is just like a dream come true.
You got guys like Tom Cavanaugh, Mark Rendell, Fred Willard, Graham Greene. The list keeps going on and on and on. Not to mention all of the new talent that we're getting, a lot of the up and coming, Tommy Emery, Scott Caballero, Cassidy Renee. This film is just awesome.
I'm really excited to have Tom Cavanaugh on board. We sent him the script, and he almost like immediately responded saying like he really loved it and kind of wanted to talk to me about it. So we had a couple of phone conversations, and it was just like really exciting talking to him for the first time, because he was seeing basically the exact same movie that I was seeing, and he was on the same page, and he got the humor, and he got like the tone and the style, and like right off the bat, like he started talking, I'm like, you can stop, we're good to go.
Well, they sent me the script about a year ago, and I read it over, and I said, this is quite funny. Then there was some sort of delay. Then about a month or so ago, they called, and they said, it's back on. Are you still interested? And I looked it over again. I said, yeah.
It's a smart script, it's just explosions of joy to play. Small little dry beats. They don't try and lean on them. It's not sitcomish in any form. It's not your teen comedy. A wry, witty, dark comedy that we're so proud to be doing.
Doing this film has been really exciting because it reminded me of my childhood with my grandfather, and he'd take us out looking at owls around his property in Kingston. It seemed very fated that this project happened. I started reading the script, and this movie's all about birders, and it's reinstilled my passion for birding. Hopefully I can kind of follow in my grandfather's footsteps and start really paying more attention to all those bird calls that surround us on a daily basis.
This is my first anything, like my first film. I've never done commercials or anything. So coming on here, I was a little nervous as to how you guys would be. You meet Mark, you meet Tom, you meet Ted, you meet all these fantastic people, crew and cast, and you're just like, oh wow, I don't want to go home.
Originally, when I walked in for the audition for Floyd, they said that, man, as soon as you walked in, we knew you were our Floyd. And then that actually really means a lot to me, that I was sort of able to bring Floyd to life with this like gorgeous 7-year project, and that they picked me to sort of come along for the ride.
Immediately, as soon as I got the script, you know, there's certain times as an actor when you get a script and there's just something that really settles with you in terms of like, oh, I feel like this is me, this is mine, this is something that I really want to do. So I met Ted and everybody behind the Birder, and they're like, we love you and I love them, and so that's kind of how it happened.
I've never felt so welcomed and so wanted and treated so well.
This is why I love film sets like this, because Jeff is the one who picked me up at the train station last night, and he's like, I'm Jeff, one of the producers. I'm like, it's 10:30 at night. You're the one who's picking me up.
Ted is great. He's very low key. I've come in and done a scene, and I said, well, you know, I got it. This is where I want it. And then he'll come up and say, good, that was good. Let's try it maybe a little softer. I'll hopefully squeeze a good performance out of me.
Ted is a very talented and modest human being. I'm sure if you interview Ted, you're not going to get any, well, when I was thinking of this, he and I communicate very quickly. A lot of it is, we good? We're good. You good? I'm good. Look, Ted has crafted a really smart, dry wit, small comedy, which I find myself drawn to. It's rare to come across one of those, and it's about 1 billion times more rare that a movie of that quality would ever seek out someone like me. You know?
I'm gonna say something different here. Instead of everyone's fantastic, but Ted's actually a super fantastic guy. I've never worked with a director who's able to get what he wants in as few takes as Ted has. So they spend a good amount of time setting up, making sure it looks really great. And you know, if he's got it, and he moves on. It's like the best type of filmmaking. He doesn't drain a scene's energy until like the actors don't even care about what they're doing anymore because they've done it 1,000 times. So, you know, he really keeps it alive.
When he's on set, he really gets into the mood of being a director. He knows what he wants, and he's not going to stop until he gets it.
Ted's fantastic. He's one of the most easygoing directors I've ever worked with, and he's just a really nice guy.
It's crazy to find a director who is so hands-on and knowledgeable about acting, yet can still convey their vision.
Working with Ted is a pleasure. His classic line is, how are you feeling? He's totally open to play and just discover in the moment. He's really, really easy guy to work with.
It's very emotional for me because these people are giving so much of themselves so that we can do what makes us happy. From the private investors to the businesses to the city to the school board to all the locations and then the local crew that have come out and volunteered their time. For me, the final note is that this project means the world to me. I've been waiting to make it, and now we're making it, so I couldn't be happier.
If I could sum it up in a few words to say about this project, it is, you know, sort of was my dream coming true, man. I mean, not just the fact of making a film in Windsor and for the people of Windsor and to bring a new industry here, but more just the caliber of and where this project has taken off to.
Well, just on like a personal level, it's just really exciting for me to see, like this group of people coming together, right? Kind of like, you know, kind of coming together almost as like a little bit of a family is kind of really exciting to me.
My father was quite ill for a few years. When I was first approached by Jeff and Serge, I said, I want to help you fellows out, but my parents come first. But unfortunately, my father passed away July 4th. Terrible and difficult time. But once that had happened, I was at liberty to get behind other things. And in a funny sense, you know, he passed away, and I didn't want to let this film die. You know, I said in many ways that my father's death provided for the birth of this film. So I'm glad that we were able to literally involve about 200 people in the Windsor area, people that want to pursue their dreams in filmmaking, and they have to go to places like Toronto or New York or wherever. And it gave a lot of people a little boost to their careers. I'm really pleased to say that.